A revolutionist has got to be prepared to understand everything. A revolutionist has got to be prepared to simplify everything. And I would have to suggest to you that some of the laughter that sometimes sounds like I've kicked some of you in your privates verbally when I say something, what I did was simplify it, just, you could say accidentally, that I did it in such a way that it hit one or two of you, and you just felt like that you had taken a serious body blow. It's something that had been hanging around in your nervous system is a very complex thing. Something to do with morals or the gods or religion or something, and it was suddenly like I took the whole thing and just broke it apart, threw it down, picked it back up, and there was one little piece, and I showed it to you, and you went, yeah. And that's it. There's nothing else to say. You didn't have to say, I agree. You didn't have to say, well, thank you, or I'll think about it. It was just like I threw it all down, broke it, maybe pissed on it, picked it up, laid it back down, came back in a few minutes and held it up, that one piece, and I went, there it is. Like a piece of a real, it was a 5-dimensional holograph, and I just held it up, and you went, and there's nothing else to say except, the revolutionists have got to be prepared to see everything, be prepared to take the complex and to see the simplicity of it. And you have got to be able to see that which is complex and that which is simplistic in their proper doses and in their proper forms. Because relatively speaking, everything is not as simplistic. Well, don't get hung up here. In a sense, everything is that simplistic. But what will strike you personally, enough of you have had experience, is some things start off and seem very simplistic, such as I can almost seem to tear something apart, shake it up, and pull out one piece and go, and you go, oh. But then sometimes it's like I have to pull it out, and maybe nobody gets it, or maybe somebody does, but you don't. And you never looked at it this way, but then later, maybe it's like I go in and I pull out another piece of it, and I hold up both of them. That may or may not seem to come from even the same part of what it was I broke apart. But it's from the same thing, but they've not even been close. But I hold up two things, and then maybe you go, oh. So in a sense, it appears to be not as simplistic as something else you saw. And that's why I was saying that there is an appropriate dose of the simplicity and the complexity of everything vis-a-vis your intelligence at that time. And that is why, for other reasons that I used to stress, that many of you adopted and tattooed on your rump, is there's no such thing as a period. Because you can see something, but some of you, well, many of you will now know, you got no question about what it is you see, but you could almost predict. You shouldn't, but you could almost predict that this ain't the end of that. You can almost smell even something better. But maybe you're sitting here and I'm doing it, and I just keep talking and pull you on away from it. And so, in a sense, you have hit something that you realize is still more complex than it will be.